Hey folks, happy Tuesday evening. It is Code Gets Creative. I'm Andrew, and we're here to talk about all sorts of creative coding. This is part 6 of working on the Lightblocks program, Lightblocks app. I think I'm off to kind of a rough start today. Hey you guys, good to see you. So this is part 6. We've been doing this for a little while. We've built our little visual programming environment up so that it can do quite a few really cool things now. And you can see behind me, we've got some lights. We got one here, we got one there. Let's jump right into the program, and I want to show you kind of where we left off last time because that was a very cool moment. So let's run that program, and then we can talk about what we're going to do this week. So here's a program. You can see how it says when the program starts, what we're going to do is we're going to run the same logic independently for each light. This is a new block that we added last week. And what it means is anything that's in here, we're going to run that logic, but we're going to run it n times for n lights, right? So this light is going to run the logic, and then this light is also going to run the logic, but kind of split apart into its own process or its own thread, if you want to think about it that way, which means that each of them will loop 10 times, sure, but then each of them is going to set a color that's based on randomness. And it's going to wait a certain amount of time that's also based on randomness. And so what that means is that we'll end up with different random colors, and they'll be changing at different random times. And this is what that looks like. So I'll press run and see we're in this block. Our lights have turned on. You can see they're just kind of gradually changing around. Changing at different times. Totally different random hues. Full saturation, full brightness, right? But random hues. Yeah. So this is cool. Like, there we go, and they just turned off. So this is cool. We have our program to a state where we can, we have our language, I guess I should say, to a state where we can do these really powerful things. So that's great. What I want to do this week is focus on just kind of polishing it up. It's really powerful. We've got our whole toolbox of things that this can do. But it's still a little bit rough around the edges, kind of visually. And the project is not really ready for other people to use that much because it's missing documentation, and it would really be nice if it was just kind of pre-packaged. So a few things that I want to do in that regard. And that's what today's going to be all about. Originally the plan was to focus on publishing this week as well. And that would include building a Docker image and doing continuous integration stuff using GitHub Actions. I started looking into that, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to need to tinker with this on my own time, or else it's going to be very slow. So I think what I'll do is later this week, I'll nail all that stuff out. I've already started a bit of that. And so I'll get that pushed up to the repo. And then next week will probably be the last episode for Lightblocks, where we'll talk about how publishing works. We'll get that kind of wrapped up, and I think after that we'll be ready for a new project, which will be fun. We've got a lot of ideas for where we could go next. So yeah, let's talk about what we want to do. We know we've got docs. We know we've got visual styles. I think it might just be those two things, actually. Let's write a to-do list for our stream today, and then we can start pounding through stuff. That's always helpful for me. So jump over to here, and you'll notice we've got our to-do list from last week, which we accomplished it all. So that feels good. Let's clear that out, and we'll work on polished stuff. So let's see, we've got documentation. We also need easy way to build and run the project. So So that's like, you know, npm start over here, npm start over there, that kind of stuff. Documentation. Oh yeah, block themes. So that's add hats to the start block. And then custom colors. And actually, I want to do that first because that'll be really gratifying and will feel good, and then we can move on to, you know, such riveting things as documentation. But it's very important. So yeah, let's work on theme stuff. Let's head over to the. I've already got this bookmarked. This is the Blockly homepage. Go to guides. This, I don't want to do that. We want to configure, and we want themes. Okay. Block style is made up of 4 fields. Also, this is like, don't go too crazy. I can respect that. And if I remember, like using themes, yeah, you can call it define theme. Oh, using the constructor or by using define theme. Extend a pre-existing theme and set all values with a single object. Yeah, I guess so. Let's check that out. So it looks like Blockly Themes Classic already exists, and then they override it. Cool. Yeah, let's try doing it this way. So let's see, this will be UI editor probably. And we need to figure out how to inject the theme. I guess we're gonna be here. Oh, this is probably just. Oh, we're off to a bad start. It's TS, not JSX. Well, let's call this light blocks theme. And notice how they're patching it right onto Google or Blockly.themes. So that sounds good. Blockly actually does exist. It's a transitive dependency. Oh. Is it just theme? Interesting. And let's maybe just grab this just to prove that this thing's working, and then we can start tweaking things. So it really does not think that theme exists. Theme. There's define theme. Cool. Okay, well let's look in the source here. So we'll search for themes. Like it's in core theme classic, okay. Yeah, and it definitely exists. You can see it right there. So I think that means their types are wrong. Okay, too bad. So let's we're gonna have to overwrite some things. So we'll call this light blocks theme. this? TS lint. I can't remember how to do it. But you'll notice I've searched for this before. Yeah, that's what we want. So ignore that, and then we'll also say classic theme. So notice how I've kind of like separated out the two problematic lines. There's this line because it's like blockly.themes.classic, and then the other one here where we're making another assignment into there. And I've split them out so that we can do all of our other stuff and it's still type check just fine. But these two problematic lines are safe, or they're like safely ignored. So we're kind of maximizing what TypeScript can do for us while we're still turning off the places where it's not helping us. Okay, so we've got this, and let's name this light blocks. This is going to look very different. I guess it's going to be a dark theme, but I think we should be able to get it up and running. Let's go over to our editor, and we need to figure out where this goes. I think it might just be right in here for workspace configuration. Let's see. What was that? I guess this isn't a complete example. I'm like pretty sure. Oh, hey. We don't really need to do this. We probably want to like Pascal case this bad boy. And export it that way. And let's be consistent. So we'll name it that way. But now this means I can export it like this. Yeah, and I'm not kidding. I think we had to kind of special case the Blockly editor. So let's run over to here. Hit refresh. Okay, that definitely applied. So now let's just kind of remove the things that we don't like. So like the workspace background color. There's the toolbox. I do kind of like the high contrast actually, for the toolbox anyway. So let's keep that for a minute. Oh, maybe it's the flyout that we care about. Scroll bar, I guess we're setting that. Kind of cool. Insertion marker. What is that? Is that that's the little ghostly, right? The ghostly thing that appears. Scroll bar. Cursor color. I'm not sure the cursor is actually applying. Black background. Interesting. Okay, so I think that that high contrast doesn't look that great when everything else is right. Let's. I think now that we've got things set up, we can start making changes to the block colors, and that's what I'm most interested in. So let's maybe do that and add the hat, and then we can look at maybe changing some of this other stuff. So. Theme. How do you register? Looks like that hot reload is going to be a problem. Okay. So it looks like it's block styles maybe that we want. Or it could be category styles. So you've got like list categories then. Oops. So here's category styles. And now I think we can just start. Yeah, we can just start using those categories. Are we? Let's see, here are our blocks on the UI. I don't think we've like put them in a specific category. Although category might also come from the toolbox. Well, no, this is just the human readable name. I don't know. How about we run over to, yeah, we've got like list blocks, logic blocks. Oh, and then this also defines category styles. Does both. Oh, hat cap. I just want to see that happen. Where does that go? Block styles? Styles, plural? So this, I should tell you what I'm actually trying to do. The, where's the hat? There's a picture somewhere. Start hats. Block paradigms. Yeah, here we go. So these event-driven programs, notice how there's this little like swoop called a hat on top. So that's what I would very much like to add, since I want to somehow denote that, like, hey, this is the start of everything, you know. But it looks like maybe we need a, like, we need to give a name to that style, and then we add the hat to that, because here's like hat blocks. So, okay, let's try that then. I mean, we could just, you know, hat blocks. We've got our hat blocks, and then I think we have to tell the block itself that it belongs to that. And the way that we do that, I looked this one up in advance actually. There's a set style method on block. So I can say hat blocks. I think that will do its thing. Yeah! We have hat blocks. And I guess it inherited like a default color somehow. But I mean, this does mean we can start to remove these. So if I take that away, there should be like a, this probably isn't going to help us anymore. I'm going to close that. We've got like color primary. And these, yeah, these each have one. And it is the British spelling of color rather than the American spelling, which I have no problem. Let's just try this for a minute. Yeah, it looks like that's the format. Oh, gorgeous. Okay. So we're able to set a color, we're able to add a hat. Now we just have to choose which colors, you know? So I think we need to like kind of come up with a plan here. And so we're sort of pausing, like we're taking off our engineering hats and we're putting on our designer hats. I'm not like a super designer. I've studied a little bit of design, but like I didn't go to school for it. It's just been like for fun. So bear with me. I like to lean on tools and other like color theory that can get me like close enough. And then I let the experts do like the really important heavy lifting. So there is a fun website called Coolors. Hi, Fabrizio. It's been a while since I've been here. This is fun because it's just this like color palette generator. Produces great results. Has a lot of like stuff that people have already made. And actually, let me run back over. Yeah, the trending palettes. These are fun. I don't think they're really trending. It's looked this way for a year or two, but these are just like very pleasant. You know, there's all sorts of good stuff to choose from here. So I think what we're looking for here, maybe we should even like. Okay, we did this. We know that we want like pretty saturated colors. Maybe like inspirations. Scratch itself is a great inspiration. I think Google Material UI is a good inspiration. My Google phone just woke up. It thought I had something to say to it. There's like a PA Mondrian. Am I right? Now we have to go look that up. Yeah, but Mondrian is one of my favorites. Yeah, this is one of his famous compositions, and he was famous for like these wonderful like primary colors and white, black shades of gray, like very simple color palettes, and this kind of turned into Scandinavian design, and a lot of like design, you know, graphic design as an art form grew out of neoplasticism that like Mondrian and others pioneered. So I think this is a good inspiration. Yeah, pretty saturated colors, like fun for kids. We're trying to like evoke I don't know. Should feel fun and exciting, like the lights or whatever. Yeah, so I think that's kind of our like. There are some thoughts on what we want to choose. So I think the other thing that we probably want, running over to here, there's like a lot of stuff in this toolbox, right? And it can probably feel a little bit daunting to be like, oh wow, what does all this stuff mean? And I think like this stuff in here, it's, you know, 3 different colors that probably feels a little disjointed. Same maybe here, where like this is different from these. Something like I think we need to unify that a little bit so that like each of these categories, all the blocks are the same color. And this might need to just be 2 categories because these are very different from these. So I think the other thing that comes out of that is like when we look at this program, it does need to have like different colors to help us like very quickly look at this and be like, oh yeah, here's the control flow, here's the numbers, here's the color stuff. So we want we want to kind of pick something or start from something where there's like a big variety of colors. So I don't know, like this one has a big variety. I think the colors are just a little muted. We could like bump up the saturation a little bit more and then bump up the brightness a little more. I also like this one. This one's like really fun, kind of like Barbie colors. Kind of like this one. This one reminds me of like flavors of gelato or something. And we want to travel like all the way across the color wheel. It's just so pleasant. Like I could just scroll through this thing forever. It feels great. Look at all the beautiful colors in our world. Here's sort of like a simplified Mondrian. I think this is a little brighter than Mondrian's blue. Right, that's like pretty dark. But yeah, it's like maybe a fun starting place. I think we don't need to use like neutral colors. Each of the blocks probably should be full saturation, except for maybe like the number literal. The number literal meaning like this just number bubble thing. So maybe what we do, let's pick one and we can kind of start from there. And I'm like kind of feeling this one. So what if we, no, I don't want to be. Open in the generator. So let's maybe start by doing that. And I believe it's been a while since I've used this. I'm trying to remember like do this. I think there's like an easy way to make a bunch of changes. Yeah, here we go. This is the one. So you can like hue shift everything. Woo! Very psychedelic. You can like bump up the saturation. Brightness, you'll notice it starts to get washed out. And oh, let's see. And we need to be able to like read the text over it. I like the text as white on the darker colors. So I think that's what we're aiming for. So this has decided that like, okay, all these should be dark. I wonder how much more we push it before the yellow decides to be. Oh, it goes the other way. Interesting. So I think we bump up the saturation a bit. Yeah, I like saturation or brightness kind of around there. Temperature, this, yeah. I don't think we want that because we already like where the hues are. So let's start grabbing these. Oh, maybe I have to hit apply. I'm not ready to yet. What if I want to come back to it? Let's do it. Let's be brave. Destructive edit. So we'll grab that. And maybe we'll do like hue red. And then add the pound symbol in the front. Okay. Here's our yellow. Then there's green. Copy that, paste that. Hue blue. And then hue violet. I go back on, I guess royal purple is what. I love how it like gives these kind of, it gives these names, the shades. That's a lot of fun. Okay. So Now we can just start to play with this a little bit. I'm actually going to call this event blocks. We've got event blocks, and I'm going to set this. I love the. I love the yellow. Actually, maybe. So I think there's an opportunity here to kind of like explain what it's doing. I think of like a green traffic light a little bit. So maybe this should be green. Oh, why did that not work? Because I didn't save that. Okay, sweet. Let's try again. Okay. I think it's too bright in context of everything else, but maybe we just need to like update everything and then we'll have a better feel for it. So let's start to plug in some of these other ones. There's color blocks. So yeah, what do we want the color blocks to be? I think it should be either blue or purple. Let's try blue for now. Okay, and then we need to apply this. This is color blocks. Color components. Oh yeah, turn the light on, turn the light off. Okay. Save that. Nice, okay. That's starting to look like a thing. This one does not change because it's like a custom block. And whatever it's set to, and whatever you choose in here, the whole block just changes to that color. That's cool. Okay. I want control flow to be that yellow color because it just looks awesome. Color primary is hue yellow. And let's see, we need to set that everywhere. Loop n times, here's loop forever. And I think that if else is actually part of the like standard library. So I'm not sure how that is going to work. Then we've got like run duplicate processes. I think like oh hey, control blocks. Should have been doing that the whole time. But let's set those to control blocks as well. We'll see how that feels. Hit refresh. Ooh. Okay, I think that is too light. So we need to darken up the yellow. I mean, we probably need to darken up the green as well. But now that looks like this. And yeah, here's that if that is getting the default. Let's figure out how to change that. I think box, yeah. Logic. And yeah, all this belongs to logic blocks. Oh, which might turn into a problem. Yellow. Problem we're about to run into is that the whole logic section will be the same color. So now all of this is yellow. Also, these should be something different. Let's go ahead and create something for that right away. Process blocks. And let's maybe set these to red. They're like so different from everything else. You know, we could actually reuse event blocks. Maybe we say that this and this are both process blocks or like run blocks, because they are pretty like thematically similar. I like that. Put that there and there, and then there's a event blocks. Yeah. Save that, refresh. Yeah, and then we'll move that out. And yes, they are too bright. Okay, so we've done these. We need to do timing next. Ah, yes, and see how these have changed as well. So I think weight probably makes a lot of sense to be red. And I'm gonna call these timing blocks. That's what it's called in here as well, right? Yeah. So put that there. Timing blocks. And it's that like kind of salmon. Maybe that's not salmon. I don't know. It's like a cherry red sort of a color. Math still needs a category. We haven't used violet yet, so we could do that. So let's say math blocks. Color primary is hue violet. Oh, and while we're thinking about it, let's set these logic blocks. There's and there's or. And then this one should be math blocks. Save all that, refresh. All right. So that's consistent now. Then we've got this like random color. Okay. So everything is too bright. Let's come back over to here. We've made our destructive edit and now we're regretting it. But we can bring it back relatively easily. Let's yeah, I mean, let's just start by making this change. And the cool thing is, since we've got all of our colors right here, it's pretty easy to hurry and make that change. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah, and that's looking better. Much more under control now. So I think we could even go... Like, I really like that original shade of blue. I think we could go a little brighter. I mean, maybe we do that through saturation as well. Let's just try that. And here, I'll just change the blue for now, just so we can see that take effect. Yeah. Here, we'll move that right next to it. I think we can even go a little further. Maybe just through saturation. I don't know. We should be cautious. And I think we can totally tweak this stuff later as well. I think we want it to look real nice, and then we can add some of the other stuff that we want to do. I think we already did this one. Yeah, we did. Nice. Red's starting to look a little intense. I think we've got to start making individual tweaks here. So I'm going to go a little darker on green. And I want to go a little brighter on blue. And then I want to go a little darker on red. In fact, probably quite a bit darker. Here's what I wanted. I'm thinking like, yeah, like turn that down a fair amount. And then switch it back to RGB. Okay, so we changed that one. We changed this one. We changed this one. Nice. Yeah, I like how that red sits with everything now. And then green, I think we can go a little more saturated and maybe keep the... like, yeah, more saturated and then maybe a little darker. I'll even slide it just a little closer to... Yeah, I'm liking how that looks together. Ooh, cool. Okay, so I do want another color for logic compared to control. So how do we want to do that? I think logic should be close to math. So I mean, do we add another shade in between this blue and purple? Like, is that what we want to represent? let's see, do I have any? That color to color from components. Yeah, this is cool. This is like helping see what programs are going to look like. I think a lot of these are just defaulted. They actually look a little funny when it's like set color to this like slightly off version of itself. But I think that's okay. I think really in the end we want to redo the color picker. And we can do just like a little bubble with that color in it. And do we like that green? No. I think there's like too much green in this palette. But here it makes sense. I guess like we're kind of dialing it in based on this one that we're looking at. Let's add an orange. Let's do that. That gives us another color to work with. I like how it like diffs the two. I think this is sort of around where we want to be. Whoops. And then we can use this on... Yeah, do we split? I think we split the run blocks up again. We've got event blocks, and then we've got process blocks. Okay, so then run blocks. Start is now event blocks. And then run blocks. This is now process blocks. And so is this. Okay. It's getting more kind of citrusy in here. I think this orange might be a little less common, perhaps? I don't know. I'm going to use it all the time. I think it's dope, but maybe others won't, but maybe they will, because they'll also think it's dope. Yeah, it needs to be like saturated enough to fit in next to that yellow. Try this one out. Okay. Yeah, I think I like those three next to each other. We'll come back over here. Those color pickers just kind of stick out. Oh, but then see, we still have to like pick a new... Oh, no. I think it works. Logic and control, they control flow, right? They cross over quite a bit, so I think I'm cool with that. Timing is kind of the odd one. It's like, I'm the only red block. This is the only purple block. Yeah. Cool, so we've got our kind of like our like rainbow of colors here. Oh, I'm realizing that on the stream it may look like slightly different from what I'm seeing. bear with me, or maybe like clone the project down and like run it on your computer, and you'll see like kind of more vibrant colors. They're not too far off though. It's mostly the orange that's like a little different. But yeah. Cool. Let's commit what we have so far. And you know what I'm also going to do is after the stream, I'm going to show this to my wife, who is a professional artist, and she will help me make any changes that might be appropriate. Here's where we define all those. Oh, that's formatted weird. Here we go. Let's see, do we have any more set colors left over? No, we don't. Cool. And then I want the theme, and I don't think, yeah, that's unrelated. Let's see, so this is customize block theme. There we go. Cool. We have done this, which means we have done this. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. Like we've talked about themes, and that's cool. Like it looks visually more exciting now. But like it's really all about like getting the thing running and actually using it. That is gonna like that's what's gonna actually allow folks to use this thing. I guess I've just said the same thing twice. So that's what we want to do next, right? Is we're going to figure out how to build and run the project in a way that doesn't involve like dev servers and hot reloading for the React stuff and all that kind of stuff. It needs to just be like runnable. So that's what's next. So easy way to build and run the project. Here's what's happening right now. I've got 3 windows. One of them is running the dev server for the UI. One of them is running the dev server for the server itself. I guess this is not a dev server. Like this is kind of the finished server. It's running in production mode. And then over here, we're just doing like source control. Oh, we got a comment. I trust your choice of color. My screen isn't great and it's supposed to be on night mode anyway. Yeah. Your mileage may vary if you're using like night mode or like redshift and everything is like extra yellowish. So yeah, I guess turn that off when you're making color choices, but cool. Okay, so we've got these 2 things. Let's figure out how to run these as a single process. And I think what that means is we want to actually build the front-end assets so that they're just files, and then we can serve them as static assets from the server. It turns out that since we did the UI using create React app, this is already kind of wired up. So we've got our script section, and these all just delegate to React scripts, right? Which is kind of hiding what it actually does, but it's really handy. So we're currently running start. That's what this is doing. But if we run build, it'll create a build for us in a directory. And yeah, that's what we want. We basically want to like build that and then maybe copy that into the directory that the server can use, or like reference into it would be fine as well. So let's go ahead and just run it right now. npm run build. You'll see what that looks like. And this will take a minute, so I'll eat some peanuts. Crunch, crunch, crunch. What this is doing, among other things, is converting the TypeScript into JavaScript, and it's also converting the React, like the JSX, into vanilla JavaScript. And I can show you what that looks like in a second. But cool. So it looks like it's built a few different JS files, right? Like each of these. It gets clever about like splitting apart different chunks using Webpack. Looks like we've got a runtime main and then like 2 others. And then this is CSS. Very small. Nice. We're coming in at about 200K, 260K. Not crazy. I mean, it is an app, right? Rather than a web page, like a website. So that's fine. Okay, cool. And you'll notice that it has put it in the build directory. So there it is. We've got like an index file, some logos, yeah, for create React app. And then inside of static, that's the part that we really care about. But really, we probably want to host this whole build file, build folder, because like this should be the root of the project. And then we also expect this to be at the root. And like, yeah, all of this should be at the root, is what I'm saying. Cool, so let's do that. The server, let's see. So let's open that up. So here's what the server is doing. By the way, you'll notice I've already made some edits here. Let's look at what it used to be. So we used to just have a start script and then a test script that was not defined yet. And start would say TSC, which is the TypeScript compiler. So run TSC, and then once that's done, call node with a flag on dist/app.js. So our server's written in TypeScript as well, and so there's also TypeScript compilation that has to happen there. And so when it actually comes time to run the server, we're doing it out of the dist directory. So we can split this up so that this is build and then this is run. Or yeah, serve is a great name. So you can't say npm run. So serve is great. So here we've broken these scripts apart into their own thing. And so now if I end that process, I can say npm run build. And that one's pretty quick compared to our UI anyway. And now you can see there's a dist directory and it's got a bunch of stuff in there. So we can like cat dist/app, or wait. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I just did not complete. So you can see, yeah, like it's all gross looking and minified. There's all these like single letter variables, right? But you can still see like shadows of our original program. Like here's interpreter.setEventListener. I totally remember like programming that. And here's like hello world on this like root path that we're just about to replace. And received program, right? So that's all great. So what we need to do now is we need to host, we need to have like a static directory. So let's fire up Node.js Express docs. I'm gonna go run over there. And I think there's actually a guide on this, maybe? Yes. Okay, cool. Express.static. Oh, and that creates middleware, and then you install it. And I think we have to... Yeah, I think root is like the directory on your computer. Is there like a... Yeah, path.join the directory of this script public. So, yeah, let's do that. So we're going to say server/app. Oh, I actually want to put that here probably. And we're going to say path, or probably like dir static. Yeah. So we're going to need path. Then we can say path.join dir name. So that is going to give us this. Yeah, it's shouldn't have clicked away. It's going to give us, you know, server/source, but it's going to do it as an absolute path. So it's user/Andrew Jensen/code dot whatever, all the way down into here. So I think I actually want resolve here because I'm going to be using these. Okay. So we need to go from source to server to the root of the project to UI to dist. And that should be that directory. So now I should be able to say app.use. You create it. I'm creating all my like here's what I'm trying to do is kind of split apart, like here's my generic server type stuff and then here's my domain specific interpreter stuff. So let's see, it's this line. Static. Yeah, maybe I do want that down in here. So we'll replace that with dir static. The thing I'm not sure about, I think we can actually do this. Oh, which probably means we can just collapse that down. So that basically means if you put in a path for like index.html, that file exists, and so it'll resolve. But then if you put in like bogus file.txt, that won't exist, and so you're going to get a 404. But let's prove that that's actually true. So npm run build and npm run serve. Run the build, and then let's do some curl requests. This is going to be running on port 4000. Localhost 4000. And let's just hit it on root for now. Yeah, that has hello world, which is actually defined here, which we're just about to replace. But if I do this, that gives me a 404. Okay. And if I do, I think robots.txt, same thing. So I wonder if I actually got that path wrong. It's easy to get these wrong. So let's just like console log it out. And usually you can just look at these and be like, oh yeah, that's wrong. Okay, users, instance and documents, code, electronics, lightbox. So this is like the path to the repository on my computer. This is all expected. /UI/dist, which, you know, /UI. Oh, it should be /build. Amazing. All right. Well, let's try that. We got to rebuild, right? Because we've changed TypeScript code. Okay, so this here, we'll even like these match. So that looks good. And now look at that. So if I do a curl request to robots.txt, which by the way is it's right here. Yeah. That's looking real good. And now I should be able to do that with index.html as well. And there it is. Cool. Now, there's a problem though, which is, wait. Whoa, look at that. So Express is actually saying the root path should get remapped to index.html, right? Because this response and this response are totally the same. Well, that's cool. I didn't think it would do that. Yeah, that's great. That's probably like a... static, yeah, I imagine it's in here. Yeah, there it is. Oh, and so this might be a problem because then let's see, /static. I could actually do this. Oh. The thing I was worried about, yeah, that still works. The thing I was worried about is apparently this is like auto-generating index pages. So I was like, okay, cool. What happens if I try to do a request for like /static? Is it gonna like show me everything that's inside of each of these directories? Which I'd rather not have it do. But it's only index.html files. So that's great. That's the way I want it to be. Okay. That also means that like this doesn't help us anymore, so we can just pull that out. The other implication is that if we just have this all the time, it's assuming that there's a build directory in the UI, which you're not going to have that unless you've actually done npm run build inside of there. And so I think we actually want to do like only run this part if we're in production mode. And I think this is how we want to do that. Yeah, so that's there. And this will become part of our Docker image as well, is like we'll set node-env to production. Okay, so let's prove that that works. So I'm going to say npm run build and node-env equals production npm run serve. Okay, and so then we can get a static file, but then if we, let's see, if we just say npm run serve, then we should get a 404 on this. And sure enough, we did. Okay, that is working as expected. Right now, there's nothing at root, but I don't think we really care about that. So that's excellent. Okay. I want all of this to go above the domain specific stuff. So let's make that change. Tweak a thing really quick. Okay, and that's rebuilt. Yeah, so we've got our index page working. And now, notice I was on 3,000. We're gonna go to 4,000. And yeah, everything's still working. And I should be able to hit run here. Good, it still works. When this highlights is currently running, it's very like creamsicle colored. Kind of fun. All right. We'll let that finish up whenever it's time. But in the meantime, I think we can gather up a commit here. So the UI looks good. Server, oh, I don't want to console log that anymore. It's not needed. Then we can add this stuff. And let's run that one more time. Yeah. And we're gonna leave this stuff alone. This is build build stuff. Okay. Was there? I'm trying to remember if there was something else. We might actually want to do. Do we want to do like scripts on the? What I'm thinking about here is like the README. Okay, let's flip this around. so my thought process right now is we need a way to build it and then run it from a single process, which we have done, and we know how to do it. It's just you have to like go into this folder and do a thing, and then go into this other folder and then do a thing. What if we just kind of streamlined that by making a bash shell script that just did all of those steps for us? Yeah, I think we should do that. And then the documentation, instead of being like do all these things, it can just be like run the script. So we already have a scripts folder for this stuff, and I think we want to keep it actually. Let's create a folder called bin, and we're gonna have a build.sh, and we're gonna have a run.sh. So let's start with build. So we're gonna do hashbang /bin/bash. So like this script is a shell script. Okay. And there is set EUO pipe fail. This weird incantation that I've just put here, this is a really good one to memorize. I can't remember each of the flags here individually. What it essentially means is that we're going to run this script one line at a time, but if any of the lines returns a non-zero exit status, that one line has failed, then fail the entire script. If some dependency of the script fails, the script fails. So that's what this is all about. And you kind of need each of the pieces here. Like you need E, you need O, you need O pipe fail, in order to like catch all of the cases in which you would want the script to fail. So this is just a good thing to have. So let's say building the UI ... and then building the server ... done. And you can see how I kind of like skeletoned out the steps that we're going to do here. So I think we want to say cd, or actually we probably want to do what is it, pushdir? Isn't it pushdir? Shoot. Peter? Oh no. I suddenly can't remember. push D, pop D. Okay. Sweet. Push D, the UI. And then we'll pop D once we're done with that. And we'll say npm install, and then npm build. You'll notice that like we're talking about building here, we're also going to install. It'll be pretty quick if you've already done it once. But the cool thing about this is that it kind of captures like, I don't know, it just like simplifies what the user has to do, which we're all about, right? That's why we're building a visual programming environment. And since we're doing popd here, we're back in the root directory, so then we can say pushd server, npm install, npm build, popd, and then we're done. Cool. Let's prove that this works. So what I'm going to do we're going to rmrf build and node modules. And that'll take a moment. And we're going to do the same thing here, rmrf dist and node modules. Just a little house cleaning. Okay. And then let's run it over here in the big one. And we need to say, yeah, what I need to do now, you'll notice that these are not actually executable. So we got to say chmod +x bin/star. And now these show up all red and scary, but they have X next to each of them. So I can actually execute, build, and run. So let's say bin/build, building the UI. And hopefully my frame rate doesn't go crazy as this builds. La 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 la. I think we can come back to this. Like, we know what an npm install looks like, but I think we're looking pretty good here. We can do the UI, we can do the server. Look at that. I'm creating items just so that I can check them off because I'm crazy like that. We've done the UI, we've done the server, script to build, and then we need a script to run. So we're currently doing this. We're going to do that next. Okay. Looks like we finished the UI. Look at that. We're using the Jake JavaScript build tool. I don't know what that is. I'll have to go look that up later. Okay, building the UI. There's building the server. And then that's done. And we're done. Awesome. Uh-oh. Oh, hey. These didn't do anything. Nice. Don't forget, when you've got some script that's in that scripts field, you got to say npm run that thing. Like npm run build, like this. Okay, cool. Good job, Andrew. Let's run this one more time. It'll be faster since it'll just check and be like, oh, cool, I've already installed all this. But in the meanwhile, let's start implementing run. Hashbang /bin/bash set EUO pipe fail, no, pipe fail, pipeline, sure. And we're gonna say, we just need to serve from the server. So let's see, node env equals production. Npm run serve. Yeah, and that should be it. Okay. And looks like we just built the UI. Currently building the server. And we're done. Okay, so now we should be able to say bin/run. Oh, yeah. And we just ran this from the root directory. So we need to say, oh, I think there's actually a way to... I think you can actually do that. You say context equals and then some path. No? npm run script from another directory. Oh, nice. What I just did is I typed in npm space that other stuff, and I have my Firefox set up to search npmjs.com whenever it starts with npm. So let's try this again. We're gonna say npm run script from another directory. Stack Overflow. Prefix? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of prefix. Let's give that a try. And it looks like npm start prefix that. Yeah. So you can probably just put it on right there. Run that. Oh-ho! And then what if we yeah, and that serves the index. Cool. So that worked. That is looking good. And the reason I like that is originally I was thinking we would have to do this. Problem with that is that when you kill the script, you're going to end up CD'd into the server directory, and so it like changes your context. But if we do it this way, we don't do that, which is nice. Okay, so now we're going to check and build and run. And these look great. So let's commit this. And we're going to say streamline building and running. Git push origin head. Here we go. And let's see, I should drop a link in the chat if you're watching that, or if you're coming from the future, you'll find it there as well. Here's light blocks. Okay, so there it is in Twitch. And then there it is in YouTube. Sweet. Yeah. Please enjoy. Star it. Watch it. And yeah, after today, it's going to be a lot easier to run the thing. So that's good. So we did this. Sweet. Now let's talk about documentation. Here, we gotta get real serious. Documentation is a serious matter. Yeah, documentation is really important. It becomes more important the more people work on a project, right? With open source, you have no idea how many people are working on a project or using a project. It might be just you, or it might be like the whole internet. But you want to kind of treat it as if you don't know all the people that are coming to use it, and so you want it to be friendly. And so there are things that we can do to make it that way. So we're going to be doing most of our work in the README. I think we also want to write a contributing doc, and this is like readme.md, contributing.md, and this is basically like, what's the project about? You know, why should I care? And then how do I give it a try? How do I use it? This is like the, you know, the entry level docs. Sometimes people put like all of the documentation to interact with some code, like right in the README, or sometimes they'll have like a dedicated website for it if it's a big fancy thing, like Blockly is, for example, or React or Express, all these things. With ours, like there, you don't even interact with the code itself. You just get it running, and then there's the UI. So it's like, go to the UI. So I think the README will be pretty sparse. Contributing.md is all about, okay, you like this project, you want to make this project better. How do you do that? And that's things like, how do you develop locally? How do you submit a pull request? What are like the expectations there? So that's cool. The other thing that we should do, and we could start this now, is a changelog. Changelog tells us things like, okay, this is version 0.1.0 of Lightblocks, and the changes since the last time are XYZ, and in case you've already got a database, here are the changes that it's going to make to your database. Or here are like, if it's an API, here are the ways that the API behaves differently, so they're breaking changes. So you've got to go upgrade your code that's interacting with this code. I kind of want to defer the changelog until we have the Docker stuff working, because I think it's going to be quite a bit different at that point. So let's maybe hold off on the changelog. Here we'll do strike through. Just kidding. We'll just remove it. Looks like VS Code didn't understand strike through. Everybody's markdown is different. So what do we want to do about the README? I think we want like build and run. We need to talk about .env files. We need to like, what is this project? We probably want a screenshot. That would be dope. Let's see. Is there anything else? And then we probably want to say like Docker coming soon. And then we will replace that once that's up and running. So look for that. Yeah, we'll plan out contributing in a minute. Okay, so let's close some things. Lightblocks. Very minimal readme right now. So what we can do, control Philips Hue lights with blocks. I think that's cool. Usually, and GitHub usually generates it this way, but they'll put like the description for the project right underneath the H1 for the project in the in the README as well. That's cool. Let's put a screenshot right here. That means we need a screenshot. So let's grab one right here. And I'm actually gonna like resize this a little bit. And we're just gonna grab this portion. Oh, maybe that'll look kind of funny. I don't know. This is getting in the way. I'm not exactly optimized for screenshot here, but I think it's good enough. Oh, and I don't want all this other stuff either. And this says React app. Amazing. Maybe we'll come back to the screenshot, you know? Because now we have to do... We don't have to do a full bin build, like I guess I'm, you know, doing it the slow way. But at any rate, yeah, let's get that built. Okay, I think we need like a getting started. Or maybe we should say like installation. Maybe like about the project. Yeah. So now all we have to do is write a bunch of pros, which we're really good at, right? We're software engineers. Just kidding. I think I'm okay at writing pros. I usually have to outline it though. I found that like for me, that's the best thing that I can do to write prose that's like meaningful or persuasive or whatever. I start with bullet points and then it turns into paragraphs. So let's see. So maybe we want to say like, what is it? Why is it cool? How do you use it? We basically got like why, what, how. If you know the famous Simon Sinek, like start with why. Well, but I think this is like short and then details. Yeah, which is so yeah, then we just start kind of filling this in. We can rearrange and then it turns into paragraphs. So what is it? It's a visual programming environment. For Philips Hue lights. And I think that's it. Boom. Why is it cool? I don't know. Guys, why is it cool? It's cool because, like, for me anyway, like, colorful ambient light is cool. And the like default app lets you make static scenes, but not like I don't know, fancy stuff. We'll start with that. We'll rewrite it. Want to have more dynamic, dynamic. I don't know, dynamic lights, dynamic experiences, user journeys. And then like light blocks lets you program and create, you know, create dynamic stuff without knowing how to code. And I think that's it for why. So what is it? And now we can start to talk about like. Actually, I feel like these are just going to collapse into the same thing. And I don't even like this up here. Like, yeah, okay. Let's rearrange some things. Now, notice what I just did. So I haven't even written my paragraphs yet. I'm just writing my bullet points, but I'm realizing that I want them ordered differently. And so it's so easy to make quick changes like that. Whereas if I had already written out a paragraph, I'd be like more attached to it. So that's one of the big reasons why I really like to outline my stuff as I write, as I do like technical writing. Okay, so what is it? It's a visual programming environment, Philips Hue lights. We should say like powered by Blockly, which also powers Scratch. This is Google and MIT. And then we can say like blocks for setting colors, weighting, whole language with, and then I think we can start to describe like control flow, and that means like if else, loop, etc. Maybe we don't even mention control flow. We just say like that gets executed, and I'm not going to say evaluated here. I don't think we need to. Maybe we should, yeah. Blocks include, maybe like a language. I don't know. Blocks include if else loop. Pick a random number, etc. And then maybe something like I want to say something about the whole like split process thing, but that's like so far kind of beyond this level that we need some in-between stuff. Maybe just like more powerful blocks, split the, let you interact with multiple lights at the same time. Let you run logic on multiple lights at the same time. Yeah, I like that. Just kind of keep that simple. And then how you use it, I've already explained. Okay. I want to say like colorful ambient light is cool, programming is cool. So yeah, let's just start kind of drafting. Colorful ambient light. Not everyone knows how to code with traditional text-based programming. Light blocks. Well, let's see. Oh, okay. Maybe like Philips Hue lights, an API for developers to create cool apps and experiences, but not everyone knows how to code with traditional text-based programming. Light blocks. Yeah, so I'm realizing I don't really want to call it light dash blocks. I don't. So we're gonna stylize it that way. Light blocks. lets you program and create dynamic. Okay, we say like dynamic, immersive experiences with light. Maybe like evolving experiences with light. Oh, how about like light shows? Without needing to know how to code. It's a great way to learn to code, learn about logic and programming, and the lights. And once again, ambient light is just really cool. Yeah, okay. Blocks is a visual programming environment. And I think right here we can Wikipedia. What am I looking for? Here's Beck. We can learn about Beck. If I remember correctly, language, VPL. Yeah, this is awesome. This seems like really good. Built on top of Blockly, a project by Google and MIT that also powers Scratch. All right, so here's a link to Blockly. And then let's go to Scratch. Also powers Scratch. The environment provides special blocks for setting colors of lights, but also includes a whole language of blocks that are executed to make powerful programs. Blocks include if else, and I don't think I'm gonna do backticks on this. And more, yeah. But then I don't want to say and more. Logic on multiple lights at the same time. And more. Maybe just replace more powerful. There are also more powerful blocks that let you run, that can run logic on multiple lights at the same time. Yeah. Neat. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. Did that. We need our screenshot. Let's grab our screenshot. We got to do it. Shrink this down. Put this like right here. Let's give this a cooler name. Oh, we don't have a good way to do that. Let's we're gonna jazz this one up a little bit. Kind of center this one. Yeah, I love it. Oh, hey, and we should also like tear off this tab, minimize this one. We'll grab just a little bit of that olive green background. Plug that back in here. Oh wait, if I shrink this down again, this should be on my desktop somewhere. Is it? It's a mess. It's this one? Yeah. Screenshot. 120. Yeah. And we're going to move it here, and we're going to call it screenshot.png. That's not it. That's something from work. Shoot. Huh. Let's grab another screenshot. You know what? No, we can I was about to like purge all the tabs. We don't need to. We can be strong. It's the 20th, right? Yeah. Okay. That got created, and then I think in just a second that thing will go away and it'll actually like render the file. Yeah. Okay, there it is. So there it is. And then we want to say move desktop screenshot.png to here. There we go. Cool. We can take a better screenshot later. But for now, this will do great. So let's let's do like a docs folder. Move that into docs. That's there. That is zooming. Is there a way to like shift click on it? I don't know. And the way that you do an image is very arcane. Looks like that. And we're going to say docs/screenshot.png. And if we do a preview on this, yeah, you can see that show up. Cool. Okay. So now we need to talk about how to build and run the project. And then I'm going to say option 1 Docker coming soon. let's see, compiling locally. Light blocks is written in Node.js. You'll need version 12.x or above. Are there other system dependencies? I think so. Let's see. Run the build. Let's see. Install and build. Build everything. No. bin/build.sh, and then we'll say, then you need to create .env file. .env file in the server directory that looks like this. And I'm not going to show you mine. But let's see, I'm going to grab this really quick. Okay, looks like this. There's a bunch of stuff there. That's essentially bash as well. Yeah, let's actually put that here, I think. Then install dependencies and build everything. Then run the server. Oh, hey, we need to say something about how to actually like get this stuff. This is probably like step one, set up get credentials to your Philips Hue bridge. And then we'll say like configure and run light blocks with the credentials. I think we can just like dive right into this. So we can say, oops. I'm just gonna make this like an inline comment right here. Okay. server should be available at localhost 4000. Okay. That looks good. So in this one, what do we need to do? Do script slash create user, I think. I'm gonna say, so for now, bear with me. I'm gonna say clean up this section. But it's basically like run, go into the scripts directory, npm install, and then run create user.js and follow the steps. Yeah, I think it'll be that. We'll clean that up later. Okay. So let's see. I think we talked about this, talked about this, talked about that. Yeah, so I think that's it. Okay, I think we're kind of out of time for contributing. I'm gonna nix that for this week. It'll go great with like the changelog and Docker file. Like at that point, we're really like publishing. So I think that's great. Let's get this committed and pushed, and then we should see it on GitHub. So we're adding all the things. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Now see, it's not called light-blocks anymore. Oh, which that should also change. Man, you know what? We're gonna call it good for now. Like, we're gonna keep finding little things like that. So we'll have to polish the polishing. It's just how things go. Okay, and then we don't want to commit any of this stuff because that's for building once again. Let's see, add project details to the README. Push that up. And now, let's come back over to here. Now if we come over here, look at that. Philips Hue lights with blocks. We've got a screenshot, block runner 2049. It looks great. It's really colorful. Talks about the project, installation, that, yeah. Let's just double check these links all work. Yes, yes, and yes. Cool. Awesome. And that's, yeah, that's there. Cool. Let's drop this in the chat just one more time. That's all there. Cool. And I think we're ready to call it for tonight. Well, thanks for tuning in. Or if you were watching this in video form in the future, thanks for checking it out. Yeah, hopefully a week from now, we'll have everything ready to go to the point where we can publish it. And I forgot to mention this up until now, but remember that the ultimate goal is we want to not just publish it, but we want to run it on this Raspberry Pi computer. You can see the little, like, I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the, there it is, the Raspberry Pi logo. So that's our eventual goal is we want to run it on this bad boy. So I think that's what we're going to do next week is we're going to be demoing this. It'll be awesome. Okay. Thanks again. I'm Andrew, and stay creative. Have a good one.